myRockworld fans, we have something really special tonight. I'm sitting here in Rosenheim in the Ballhaus, and it was a very cool concert tonight. I'm sitting here with David Knopfler. Welcome to myRockworld, David.
Hello, it's nice to be here.
David, first question. You did 3 albums with the Dire Straits. Your solo career is going on since quite a while, since 83, I think.
About 250 years, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your solo career, about all the 14, 15 albums, I think,
like
and also about the latest album made in Germany.
Well, that's just a little live album straight off the desk. The next record is going to be a studio album, professional, high-standard album. Sometimes the audiences really pressure you to make a live album. I'm not really a fan of them. I like to go into the studio and make a record properly. But there's always pressure when people come to see a concert. They say, "Can we have a CD of what we just saw, please?" They don't really want your studio album. They really want it to sound just like the show they enjoyed. So we released one. We've released 2 actually. There's another one called Acoustic, which is the same principle. But within 2 years, these records are already out of date because you're already doing a new set. And then they go, "Well, where are the songs that you did tonight?" And then you have new songs. So I want to get into the studio really and record. I have about 20 songs now that are not properly recorded. And I'm looking forward to doing that maybe in March or April.
And it will be a full band album then, also?
Absolutely, for the whole 9 yards, I hope. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it yet, but that's what we're going to do.
We've heard a lot of new songs, some of new songs tonight. One was Dawn Patrol.
Dawn Patrol, yeah.
I really enjoyed this one.
Okay.
And it will be on the album too.
I hope so. Well, if it works, I mean, you never know till you get into the studio and you start working. But I'm sure I haven't played it yet to my rhythm section. With the bass player and the drummer. Harry knows it, obviously, my guitarist. But yes, I hope so. I hope it'll be a little band song.
Are you surprised that this acoustic idea is doing so well?
Well, Harry and I have been at it for a long time. We've had a bit of time to figure it out. It's just different. You can play with a band and you can play. We could play with a 50-piece orchestra. I could play on my own sometimes. I play duos. I play band. I play other people's songs, I play in other people's bands. I mean, we're just musicians, that's what we do. It's like actors. Are you surprised that an actor can play 6 different roles?
Yeah. When did you met Harry Bogdanov?
Harry Bogdanovs. Harry and I met around about 1980, 81, I think. He was the MD for a jazz singer in London, and I was producing her. So I was the producer and he was the putting the band together, and we had a very good musical collaboration with her. We were offered 3 record deals on the strength of the demo tapes we'd made, so we thought that this was probably a good idea to work together in the future, and we have ever since, really.
Okay. What do you think about music and what's going on in the world in general?
Well, I'm a little out of touch. I tried to follow it up, but it's I keep my ear. I listen to stuff and I hear stuff. I'm not, as you probably imagine, I'm not a big fan of the digital world of processing, and I like things to be honest. And so if you give me an honest singer-songwriter who's got something to say that's worth listening to, who's got great lyrics and who's got a good ear for a melody, then I might be interested. I tend to just be interested in songs more than a good song is a good song. And when I hear a good song, I mean, Harry just played me a track from the newish Sean Colvin album called American Jerusalem. And immediately I said, well, who was the writer? And tomorrow when I get 5 minutes, I'm going to go online and check out the original version from the writer. I'm always interested in the songwriters more usually than the artists. And of course, there's young talent coming up all the time that's good, but it's hard to. When I was young, the industry filtered all this stuff, Kids had to make good demos, then they had to be able to play live, then they had to get signed to a record deal, then they had to get out and do it on the road, they had to be able to play on the radio and television, and all these things had to work. And then the public would hear it, so that by the time the public got to it, 99% of it had been filtered out, And as a system, by and large, it worked. I don't think there were too many undiscovered geniuses, I mean, Dylan got discovered, Springsteen got discovered, Joni Mitchell. That kind of talent will out. It didn't, whereas nowadays everybody is, everybody is a narcissist. Everybody is important and everything is important, and there's no filters. So there's 2 billion people putting out music, everybody and their mother. So it's pretty hard to figure out what's really worth listening to. I mean, it's all
about like buttons.
it's difficult. I mean, Facebook and all this nonsense. I mean, I get sent people unsolicited stuff. I get sent unsolicited music from people probably about 8 times a day, and I just can't listen to it. There's too much stuff being thrown at me. And even if I liked it, so what? Yeah. But what am I going to say? Yeah, I like it. Next, what? I don't have a record company. I don't have. Yeah. You know, nobody can get the kind of deals that people want. I mean, you can name on maybe 6 or 7 artists who are actually making serious. New artists, you know, young artists making serious money in this business. It's almost impossible. Taylor Swift, I'm struggling after that. Who is that's actually writing songs, performing them in their own style?
Who are your favorite musicians these days?
Oh, I don't know. It hasn't changed much. You know, my musical taste is somewhere pretty much locked in the 70s. I like. All the things that I tend to like are the same things that I liked then, you know, Randy Newman, Bob Dylan. Okay. I like earlier Bob Dylan. I'm not very fond of him doing this advert for Chevrolet, which he's just done a voiceover for Chevrolet. That's a little odd. I like Bruce Springsteen, you know. I like singer-songwriters. I like.
Are there any new artists you really like?
I'm struggling to think of one. I mean, of course there are, but they're not.
Not Taylor Swift.
No, I like Taylor Swift actually. I like her earlier records more than the most recent one. I thought Red was a little bit too commercial. Okay. I thought it was too crossover. I liked her more when she was still just figuring out who she was, and being a singer-songwriter. I thought her early songs were charming and lovely and had a lot going for them. Okay. I don't know. I used to follow all this stuff, and I'm 61 now, and it just gets too hard to stay on top of it all. And I have a bad memory for names and for titles and things. I don't, I don't chase it anymore. I mean, really, I'm so locked into my own process. You know, when you're starting out, you're looking around for ideas of other people that you can imitate and copy. So the dance is, you dance in the footprints of other people to begin when you're young. And as you get older, like me, the dance becomes your own, and so you're not looking for those kind of inspirations anymore. You're not thinking, oh, let's do a song that sounds like this or that sounds like. When you're young, when the first Dire Straits album, everybody said Bob Dylan, J.J. Kill, J.J. Kill, Bob Dylan, J.J. Kill. Every review. We were just another band imitating somebody else. We were not considered original. Okay. 10 years later, it's like, oh, it sounds like Dire Straits, you know. But that's just how it goes.
It was a very unique sound, yeah.
But it wasn't. It was just a compilation of other things for us. We were just following our heroes and, you know, picking up ideas as we went, like sponges, you know.
What is your favorite solo album?
I think probably Ship of Dreams, because although I liked some things on Small Mercies and Wishbones, I think the best records we made were CD 7, 8, 9, because by that time we'd figured out how to do it. You know, I think it took me about 7 solo albums before I really knew how to do it to the best of my ability. And then I think after that, budgetary problems started getting a little bit in the way of what I could achieve. So you start making records with not quite enough money to do it. You know, so CDs in 8 and 9, Wishbones and Small Mercies, Wishbones and Ship of Dreams both had orchestras on them. Yeah. You know, I mean, hiring an orchestra these days, forget it, it would never happen. And it's a buzz, you know, you're sitting there in the control room and out in the live room, there's 25 classical musicians saying, well, Maestro, what do you think? And I'm thinking, Maestro? And I'm looking behind me to see who they're talking to, you know. It's ludicrous. And I said to them, I said to the real Maestro, the arranger and the guy that had orchestrated it and was conducting, I said, do you think you could make it a little bit less rumpty-tumpty? And he said, okay, more legato, chaps. And off they went, and they just did it perfectly, you know, one take. So that was my contribution to that projection, you know.
Really cool. Is there any album you don't like anymore?
I'm not very fond of the ones that are a little bit locked into the period, you know. Do you want to shut that door before? I'm not terribly fond of the. I'm not terribly fond of the albums that sound like they were made of a genre, of a period. You know, that like in '85, in the mid '80s, we suddenly all discovered all this technology that we could do things. And afterwards, you know, you play a harmonica on a synthesizer. Why didn't I just play a harmonica? You know.
But all did it.
Everybody did it.
Rock and roll really anymore.
No,
So.
and I would like to have those years back. I would like to re-record all the songs on those. You know, and I thought they were good at the time. And I had one song from Cut the Wire, my third album, that I remember was really nice, and I put it on the other day. I was appalled. It really wasn't good at all, and the production value on it was poor. And I was shocked because I'd remembered it as good. You know, I think a lot of artists my age peak. You know, they make their first two albums and then they kind of tail off. I'm a Capricorn, real late developer. I think it took me about 10 albums to get good at what I'm doing, and I was a very slow burn. So I kind of feel like I'm just getting into my stride now. Okay. I think my next album's going to be the best yet.
Okay.
Very good.
Very good. Very good.
I think it might be.
Do you have a title already for the album?
I had one just the other day. Secrets and Dreams is one possible title, but I think I might call it Grace in the Gutter.
What are your heroes starting out playing music?
Sorry, say again?
What are your heroes starting out to play music?
Dylan, obviously, because he broke the mold.
Okay.
Well, I was about 11 when I first heard Dylan, and my sister brought his album, the old vinyl, home, and that blew me away completely. Jimi Hendrix was the next thing that completely knocked me seven different ways sideways. I just wanted to be him when I was 14. I don't think I imitated his music particularly. His playing was beyond me anyway, but the idea of being a rock star, I think, and making music for a living and being original and kind of, I think, style and he inspired me to play. I didn't copy his style, but he inspired me, and so I'd have to put Hendrix in there. I think the musicians that probably influenced me musically were more perhaps the next generation, like Jackson Browne. And
have you ever seen Hendrix live?
Yeah, I saw him live,
really?
Of course.
When?
Yeah, oh man, several times. Yeah, I saw him when he just released Hey Joe.
Wow.
Then I saw him again just after he released Purple Haze, which was his second single. And then I think I saw him about 3 times. Always I never saw him after the Experience split up.
Have you met him?
No, I never met him.
Backstage
No.
or
No.
as a fan?
Always heard nice things about him, but never met him.
Okay. If you could go back in time, what advice would you give a 21-year-old version of yourself?
Oh man, that's such a tricky one. Well, persistence is 90% of it. Persistence and dedication, and sticking at it. You know, persistence and dedication is so much of it. The art and the stuff that the creativity in the art, really don't worry so much about that. My girlfriend is an art professor, and she teaches art, and what she teaches, and she does it very quickly in about one semester, one term, is how to draw with a pencil, and till they can do these kids do really photorealistic drawings that they look almost like photographs, because she teaches them about light and shade and all these different value and all these things that modern art never taught them. You know, you don't learn that in these. Ever since the 1960s, we've lost our way with this stuff. So I would say to young people, worry less about your art and worry more about your craft. Get good at what you do. Yep. You know, when my brother was 16, people begged him to get his guitar out and play because he technically was very, very good. It's not so much about the creativity, it's more about just get fucking good at what you do, you know? Don't fuck about. Learn to play, spend a lot of time playing. And if you want to spend 5 hours a day on the guitar, that's fine.
Are you still practicing?
I'm a little bit, not as much as I should, but I'm 61.
Yeah.
Cut me some slack. But if you're 21, you better be serious and go for it. Don't worry about the business. That will come later. Be good. Be better than you are now. Because you know, every time you look back in 6 months' time, you'll be better. If you work at it, you'll get better. If you're dedicated, you'll find your way to the top. Because people will drag you there if you're good enough. You won't have to push. You don't have to knock on the doors if you're good enough. People will open the door for you. Just get good.
At least some words to the fans.
Oh, thank you all so much. It's been a privilege and an honor to make music for you.
Okay, thank you very much,
You're
David Knopfler. Bye.